York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Nick of Time Show. Here, give me that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to talk about a Knicks win because the Knicks beat the Pacers 121 to 91. Okay, Josh Hart gives you 18 points and 11 rebounds. Miles McBride, or Deuce, as we like to call him, gives you 17 points. Hartenstein has a hell of a game, gives you 7 points with 17 rebounds, 12 of those being offensive. And wait, just wait, breaks Oakley's offensive rebounding record as a Knick. Let's go. Alex Burks off the bench gives you 18 points. Yes, that's right. You heard me correctly. Alex Burks off the bench gave you 18 points. He rolled off the bed. And the Knicks do their thing in the paint too. Outscore the Pacers 62 to 36 in the paint. And not only that, the board work was immaculate for the Knicks. Out rebound the Pacers 66 to 38 on the boards. And today marks the first day that the Knicks had more offensive rebounds than the Pacers had rebounds at halftime. So the Knicks doing it in every single area. And great win for these Knicks because they got massacred on Mother's Day, but they bounced back. I didn't see Halliburton talking all this smack and talking all this trash and skipping and smiling. No, none of that was happening today. Deuce locked them up. The Knicks win. We held them to under 100 points, and we finally smacked the team in the playoffs. And we're going to talk about it all. The good, the bad, not much ugly today. It was all good. And guess what, guys? We did it all by playing 7 players. That's right. 7 players. All these narratives, they don't play enough guys. Oh my gosh, the Pacers deaths. No. Got it done. 7 players. Analysts, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. I really don't. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. But we gonna talk about it all right? So let's get to it. First and foremost, I'm gonna introduce you to the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Brian G's in the building, and I'm glad I finally got to watch the Knicks this postseason where it felt like my blood pressure was not going high due to all these clutch games where Knicks is trying to hold up a small lead and things of that nature. So it's good to see the Knicks knock out a team by 30, and job not done. One more win. Let's go.
Absolutely. And of course, you know it is a god, Latin assassin, the Guardian, the Escobedo. What's going on?
I've had the Ice Spice flag. Now I have the Mexico flag. You know what I mean? I always got a bag of tricks over here in Dallas, Texas. Yo, man, can I praise God real quick? My mouth is finally healed. That means you're going to hear my loud, yappy ass all episode. I am finally feeling 99.9%, and I am here and ready to talk a big Knicks win. Let's go, Alex, baby!
Let's go. You know what? Your mouth, pause. Yo.
No giddy.
No diddy.
And Jaylen Brunson's foot, both looking 99.1% better.
Let's I need me a Burks jersey.
I ain't want to like the way he even said that your mouth was looking better than that. I don't like the way he even said that. That came out weird. With my pew. I didn't say that. All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Of course, you know. First, I'm sorry. Our ex-D1 baller, Ebony in the building. What's going on, Ebony?
Go. Nothing. Again, our team told you when they tell you they can't, when they say you can't, when they say they done. I knew when I heard that Jaylen Brunson clip when he said it's an effing long series. When they showed Josh Hart at the end of the bench and his face was just of like, all right, like okay, like just okay. I already knew we see this team. We
That's
seen this
it.
team
That's
come back time and time again. We've seen it. So I'm not gonna doubt it because one game, 30 points is still a loss. A loss is a loss. But just because it was by what it was doesn't make it two, you know. You get what I mean? So I already knew just them talking junk and doing all that. It just woke the beast up.
that
Like
is
and the whole team, because you know they all get mad. And once iHeart start getting on his Ruben Studdard, sorry for 2024, you know he on it. He
mm,
on it.
on
He
it.
start, he get on his Ruben Studdard. You already know iHeart on it. He started apologizing. It's a
Hmm.
wrap.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh man, I let the fans down. I should be cheering. Like, okay, like you already knew. Like, I don't know about you guys. I stayed away from all the commentary ever since that loss. I kind of shut it all off because I seen headlines, but I ain't watched none of it because I already know what the BS was. And I was like, I'm gonna just wait and see because I know what this team does. I know what they're made of. I know how it's been all season long. This team hates losing. This team doesn't like to win. Of course, they love to win, but they hate losing to me more than they love to win. Which means that loss that happened that other night, I already know it was eating at them, and I already knew they was coming back with a punch. And to be honest, I feel like it was a perfect storm. It was like, oh wait, y'all giving us 2 days rest?
Mhm.
Oh wait, the next game is on Friday, so that means Wednesday, Thursday recovery time, and Friday. Ooh, Paces, you better lace up them Nikes because it's gonna be a long day when Brunson got rests. Rest. It's gonna be a wrap. But I'm gonna just wait. I'm gonna just wait.
The Pacers, when they did that, they did us a favor. The reacting and carry on the way they did because, like you mentioned, they having meetings and things of that nature to just about effort. And again, the Pacers haven't done anything to really beat us. It was us beating ourselves. Last
Facts.
game we didn't come up. We didn't come out with our energy. It's the reason that I thought this was going to be a sweep because of our physicality. What we saw today, everybody chipping in. I was kind of surprised, and I mentioned that about Precious being a starter, but Tibbs has been trying different things, and I understand it. I understand why he would do it. But I
Yeah.
remember when they did put Deuce next to Brunson, that's who I thought would start because I remember doing that once the injuries happened, the impact it had.
Right. I kind of knew he would go with Precious first because he defaults to the size first.
Mhm.
So I knew he was gonna go to Precious. But when I saw Deuce, I was like, okay, here we go. If you guys don't know, one of our most successful lineups of the season, plus 33, was Brunson, Deuce, uh, iHeart, Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, plus 33. I think our highest plus minus out of all our high possession lineups. So it shouldn't be a shock that it worked for us. It struggles against really long, tall teams, but for this team, it worked out, and we punched them in the mouth in the first quarter for sure. Shout out to Deuce McBride. It's been a revelation for us this season. Took the leap since joining that starting lineup, getting back to the bench, and now joining it again in the playoffs. An important game, gave you 17 points in the first quarter. Man, shout out to Deuce, yo. Lee, but what do you think about the game and Deuce's performance and your thoughts?
Lots to talk about, think about. The main thing that was running through my mind around the third quarter was that Leon Rhodes really got snubbed for Executive of the Year. I remember JLS and I, a couple months ago, we were talking about Alec Burks coming to the Knicks, and I hopped on SNY.
Mm.
I
My
hopped
take
on
goes
SNY.
with it.
And so Knicks Nation, we were Alec Burks moved away from a championship, and while I looked goofy for about a month, I'm not looking so goofy now. Alec Burks provides true off the dribble scoring. He provides an option to where when Brunson's getting locked up and you need a breakaway basket, a bailout, he can get it for you. He was really solid in the mid-range, solid in the corner threes. He allows for a little bit of dribble penetration as well. He's not a great finisher at his age, of his stage of career, but he demands a defender to stay on him, which drags someone away from the perimeter and allows for some open shots. I like the way he's playing. We kind of need his ball dominant, isocentric mindset right now because we're so deep, we're so down with guys, with OG out and Dante DiVincenzo not having a game. We really needed Burks to be in that Burks mindset. And I'm calling it Burks sanity because my mind, I mean, after being sit for an entire month and getting cobwebs on the rafters, it's great to see him come in and be ready. It just, I mean, that just populates Tom Thibodeau's mindset, Nets manned up, and everyone remaining conditioned and remaining focused mentally and emotionally to come into the game and produce at the level that you expected to for why you were brought in. So again, Leon Rose really deserved, in my opinion, executive of the year. That Brad Stevens, cool. Drew Holiday, great move. KP, great move. But there was a series and successions of moves from signing Devo, re-signing McBride, trading for OG and Precious, trading for Bojan and Burks that to me culminated in one of the best executive performances that I've seen in my Knicks tenure and really and around the NBA. And Deuce McBride was another example of that coming off as a starter. Again, another semi-shocking revelation from Tom Thibodeau to change it up. Something I don't know if you would have seen last year, especially not in 2021. But him sitting Precious and putting in Deuce McBride, knowing that we needed the floor to be spread in order to open up lanes for Jaylen Brunson. And have a secondary three-point threat on the perimeter because Precious doesn't give you much offense. And knowing that we got to free up Brunson as much as possible, the screens were staggered. They were multiple. Precious and iHeart were setting some unbelievable screens, freeing up Jaylen Brunson to be able to go downhill. I loved all the tweets and strategy adjustments that Thibodeau made. I thought he's been really coaching a hell of a series. Given the circumstances, my man should deserve Coach of the Year as well.
Yeah. You know what, Lee? The last post game we did, I said the Pacers are treating Precious Achiuwa like a shooter, and they're going to adjust the next game when they actually have time to sit down and watch tape and realize, wait a minute, he can't shoot. Why are we closing out on him so hard? I remember distinctively saying that last post game. One of the big reasons why Brunson was having a hard time the last game, it wasn't one reason. It was a few, but one of them was they completely ignored Precious and completely ignored him. So kudos to for Tibbs putting in Deuce because when they started to trap Brunson, it was two things happening. It was either swing corner three or one pass away to Deuce who hit that three at the top of the key and it broke the game open in that first quarter. So not to mention that freaking Deuce was locking up Halliburton on the defense.
That's what I was gonna say. One thing that I was with the defense was that Deuce didn't allow Halliburton to get into rhythm. These last couple of games, he's been getting into rhythm the first quarter, having big first quarters, setting the tone for himself, getting self-confidence to do it the rest of the game. With Deuce today, it was able to disrupt his rhythm from the get-go, make it hard from the get-go, because Deuce will pick up from 90 feet. Deuce will play the passing lanes. Deuce will, not quit over screens. He'll be a nag to you. So it won't be as easy, and that wears you down. And as you see, he didn't have such a big game, and to give, like y'all mentioned, Jaylen Brunson a better outlet, a better bailout pass when they did double was huge. I did think that we could play small because I mentioned that I didn't think that Mitch would miss him, of course. So I would never say that, but that this would be his series really because we can go small with this team because Miles Turner is a big guard. He's a big guard. You seen as soon as he tried to go on the post against Josh Hart, what happened? Turnover. Yeah. So shouts out to you just talking about Tibbs. Shouts out to Tibbs for making an adjustment. Again, he did that. He saw the isolation of Siakam. He hurry up and switch iHeart on Siakam and put Josh Hart on Miles Turner. Siakam contest me. I Heart contest Siakam's layup attempt. We get a little break. I think the Deuce gets a layup out of it, making defense into offense. So yeah, Tibbs did a lot of good things today, just at the making sure that the player and the ball movement, another good adjustment. I tell people about the Pacers, I don't believe them. They need more people because I
Mm,
don't believe in their defense. I don't believe that they can be physical. They can do it in spurts, but that's not who they are. So they go back to who they really are. You get what I'm saying? If you make them have to move, I, mistakes will happen because their defensive principles are not there. They don't have that in them. Like, more so like the Philadelphia had more team defensive principles. So if you
yeah,
make them move, you see what happens today. You see the offense get whatever they want. Everybody, really, whatever they want. They look for the best available shot today.
I agree. I
Oh,
agree.
and shouts out to Brunson real quick for doing the perfect mix of being aggressive and letting trust in his teammates because the ball did not stick today.
Nah, it was an easy 28 points in the first. That was the easiest 28 points in the first half I've ever seen in my life. To the point where I didn't even realize he had 28 points until I saw it at halftime. I was like, wait, what? I was like, he has 28 at halftime. I was shocked. But and shout out to Alec Burks too, because I don't know what happened. Maybe it was really his shoulder. Maybe it was really his shoulder. Like maybe he just had to have the shoulder heal. It's funny you start to hear people talk about how he's not supposed, like, why, how come Tibbs didn't play him early, and that if Alec Burks was playing like this during the season, he would have never fell out the rotation.
Facts.
Ever. Ever. So I hate these people who just started watching the Knicks talking about Tibbs is stupid for not playing Alec Burks a long time ago. If you was play Tibbs, you would be playing Alec Burks a long time ago. Like if you don't want to keep your job, like it was career. It would have been career suicide, especially playing Burks and Bojan together wasn't working too, because both of them had to need the ball to shoot. But the thing I like about Alec Burks too is offensively he gets it going, but then he can shuffle his feet a little bit. He's not like completely lost on defense. So I feel like Tibbs feels comfortable playing him longer spurts than Bojan, even though Bojan can kind of get hotter faster.
Yeah.
So man, Alec Burks, 18 points today, living up to his corner Burks marker and really lighting up for three, and the extra bonus points for grabbing Thomas by the throat. Yes, that Burks the enforcer. Yeah, I was feeling that today. I was feeling that today. I was like, yeah, and he did it with a smile too. The assassins smack you and smile at you like. This funny? You think this is funny? Yeah, that's what I saw from Burks today.
I had got killed in the chat for the pregame about suggesting that he plays and that just if he does well, then extend his minutes. Just see what he gives you because again, when Burks is on, what he gives you is what we need. Just the extra spark, some extra offense to hold us down, like a bridge player, a little spark off the bench is
That's
what
it.
we can give you, what we need. But today, what Burks showed was he was contesting, he was rotating, he was hustling. It wasn't cool Burks today. It
Yeah,
was he was moving. He was in help defense. He was in contesting shots and making a difference with it. Um, yeah, everything we complained about Burks, he did opposite. He did all those things. He wasn't cool Burks. It wasn't just one mode. You know, he had some big threes too, and they tried to come back.
yeah. And you know what this does for us guys? Like we were really feeling the grunt of Bojan going down. Like, man, where's his bench scoring coming from?
Yeah.
Like it made it seem like, man, our margin for error is even smaller. Like like I almost feel like we just traded for a player again, like in the middle of the playoffs. Because I really thought we were dead to rights when it came to the bench score. But it's like all of a sudden Burks is back to normal. And all of a sudden, if we get past these guys, OG comes back. All of a sudden, we have damn near a full team again. I mean, minus Mitch, because I saw an update that said Mitch had like another minor ankle surgery, and that officially takes him out of the postseason altogether. But we have more of a fuller team now, so it's I almost feel like we're playing Mario. We got like an extra man out of nowhere.
Yeah. About Burks. Yeah, before this series started, the reason why I co-signed Ebony on that was because I was thinking that, okay, Pacers like to play 8-9 deep. So I'm like, the Knicks have to extend their bench as well. And I know Precious was going to get minutes in this series as well, but I still remember those Hardenstein, Precious, Hart lineups where the offense definitely struggled and allowed teams to key in on Brunson more, especially with the shooting not around him. So my line of thinking was that, okay, if you're going to extend the bench a bit more and put in Precious, you might as well extend it even further, put in Burks as well, because at least Burks can give you some spacing on the floor and also give other guys rest, like, maybe you can rest Steven Shenzo a bit. You can rest maybe Brunson a bit. Like give those guys a bit of rest and have Burks out there and see how he does. And even tonight's game, like the Knicks played 7 guys and Burks played 23 minutes, but look what that caused. Josh Hart, 39 minutes. McBride, 40 minutes. Brunson, 43 minutes. And these are guys that are used to playing heavy minutes. So if you can just give them a breather, even if it's just 3 minutes, 4 minutes, that could do wonders for this team, especially in the fourth quarter when they need to, turn it on and, bring the team home. So that was my thinking, and I'm glad to see that it's coming to fruition now, with him playing in these last few games. And yeah, Burks has been a good spark off the bench, 18 points, 5 of 8 from 3. And one thing I'm noticing about Burks as well is that because early in the series, like TJ McConnell was killing us, but now Burks is guarding TJ McConnell, and TJ McConnell looking regular nowadays. Like he ain't killing us no more off the bench. So you have to give him his props as well. Not only is he scoring on the offensive side, but he's also playing defense as well. And you have to give Burks his props because look, it's easy for a guy, to come to a new team, after a trade, play terribly and know that you're buried at the end of the bench and just be like, F it, like, I'm just going to, ride this out, whatever the case may be. But for him to be professional and to still keep himself ready, knowing that, there might come a time when the coach calls on him and for him to, keep himself ready. And then when his number is called to produce the way he's been producing, you have to give Burks a whole lot of props because that shows how professional this guy is on and off the court.
Facts. Well said.
Absolutely. And I also want to give Hartenstein some props too, man. Breaking Oakley's record, 12 offensive rebounds. Like Ebony said, he kind of talked about how he was apologizing to the fans, like, man, they expect more from us. And we expect them to cheer for us. And because we always give what we have, and he gave everything he had today and had an amazing game with 12 offensive rebounds. And Pacers, man, listen, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Because now you guys are dead set on blitzing Jaylen Brunson. And now that you're blitzing Jaylen Brunson and we've added another shooter back into the lineup, it's not going to work for you anymore. There's 2 things going to happen. 1, our shooters will be open for jump shots. 2, y'all be scrambling and out of position for defensive rebounds, and we're going to have another juggernaut of an offensive rebounding night. I think I saw a stat that said the Knicks had 29 more shot attempts than the Pacers tonight. And just that one move, putting Deuce McBride in the starting lineup, just changed everything for us. So thank you, Hartenstein, for capitalizing, for taking your matchup seriously, for taking the boarding seriously, and for keeping us afloat, because you definitely one of the keys to the game for us, for sure.
There's a point that I've been wanting to make that I think now is the best time. And after I make the point, because I know Ebony's going to be in agreement with me, I wanted to let her have some time to talk about it as well. And that is the Indiana Pacers are not the Philadelphia 76ers. They do not have a super elite defensive-minded coach. They do not even have a superstar. Philly had And my approximation for the playoffs, they had 2 superstars and a bunch of very valuable role players. This Indiana Pacers team is not them. And I think Evan and I were talking about before the series started. It was this more likely this series went 4 than 7 before OG went down. And I stand by that. I think if OG was playing, looking at how Indiana, how they fall apart defensively, they don't have the same rhythm and the same habits built on the defensive side of the ball. I think we could have swept this team if OG had not gotten hurt. I'm not trying to disrespect them, but they are the Knicks without Brunson or Randall. They're a great collection of slightly above average starters, not role players, but starters. They got about 7 or 8 solid starting level players, with the exception of Isaiah Jackson, who could one day be that. But they don't have a guy who has that give me the effing ball mentality, and I'm going to give me a bucket. Halliburton is not him. Halliburton's a pass first point guard. He's in the same mode of Jason Kidd and Steve Nash. They could score because they have a talent, but their primary directive is to get everyone else involved. The most aggressive player on that team is actually Miles Turner. He actually has the most shoot first mentality on the team. I think he's even more aggressive than Pascal Siakam. Turner wants to, I think he has the most dog of anyone on this team on the offensive side of the ball, but he's not him. We have a guy who, when defenses clamp up, typically they clamp up in today's modern NBA on the 3-point line and in the post, which means, as you saw last night in the Dallas OKC game, you need mid-range precision. And Indiana doesn't have that guy, but we sure as hell do. Jaylen Brunson might be the best mid-range player in the NBA, and when the defenses tighten up, we are lucky that we have a guy who can get some buckets in mid-range and open things up from that point of attack. And Indiana doesn't have that. And I think that's why, if we were fully healthy, this wouldn't be the same series that it is. And I think there's a little bit of fool's gold from outsiders who haven't watched this season. Looking in, the Nets seem a little weaker than they actually are. If you get OG Anunoby, just him, back on this team with Burks, cooking like 2001 Burks, we can go to the finals and possibly win it all.
Yeah, this Pascal Siakam matchup in particular, ever since OG went down, he's been skipping. He's been skipping. He hasn't had the same resistance he's had since OG's went down. But I agree with you, Lee, that the people watching now are kind of getting the fool's gold version of the New York Knicks, and they're gonna see. They're gonna see. They're gonna see. But shoot, they got a glimpse today. Of what can happen when Jaylen Brunson actually has shooters around him and defenders around him. And this is what makes Deuce McBride wait until the other guy is back. So yep. I agree with you, Lee.
How do you feel about that, Ebony?
Definitely, I agree. You see, what they tried to double Brunson, and it didn't work at all. And no matter who they put in front of him today, it didn't work at all. Naismith, they were calling the fouls that we thought should have been called from throughout the series, but we haven't been complaining, and they were getting called today. So he had to switch up Nimhard. Then they put the rookie on him for a quick second. He turned him around for a 3-pointer. So they don't have enough. They have a lot of flaws. I just felt that we were playing a lot harder than smarter. And today we did both. Because we made, except for the 3 threes he got all in a row with Miles Turner, pretty much we were making him put it on the floor. We were getting into his body and making him do other things instead of set shooting. Whenever he made a shot, it was set. Even today, whenever he got his points, they were set. Those 3-pointers was from the same spot, and they were set. And it was because iHeart either ran by him, lost him, or he helped on a couple of them where he just dragged off a little bit. But you gave him enough room to just be set. He's tall already. So, but as soon as we made him move, it was turnover. It was a bunch of turnovers. As soon as we made him create, as soon as we made the Pacers move. Remember, I told you about the unassisted field goal percentage thing. They were last in league. Then if they don't have somebody creating for them, it looks different. You made Obi put it on the floor. He turning the ball over. You make Naismith and Nimhard go to the basket. They'll lay a package on none. You see, so
all facts.
No, you're right. You're right. Half court has not been their friend.
So you see this, and then you see Halliburton when it get tight, he looking to pass the ball. He ain't looking to shoot now. This is like the third time I seen in a pressing situation where he should have went up and he passed the ball. He Ben Simmons it. So it is not who they are. That's why I'm not a believer, and they're not doing a good job of making you a needle. Um, the game, you're going to have good games where you just hit everything. And they had that game in one game. You get what I'm saying? They did everything right. Everybody on all cylinders. Do I see that happening again? No. And in the way they did it, it just opened their eyes. This team is a team of learning after it happens a lot of times. You know, you see Jaylen Brunson still learning. Today was a perfect example of him still learning, being aggressive. But when a double came, he didn't hold it. It was
Yeah.
straight give it to Josh Hart. It was straight give it to Dante, give it to Deuce. You even seen the playmaking of again iHeart and Precious. They giving backdoors, using Indiana's aggression against them.
Yep.
It was just a very good basketball game, a very good play basketball game
I knew
Yeah.
Ebony would cook on that. I knew she would.
today.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to mention one important stat too. That's going on with these Pacers. The turnovers, man. Turnovers. The Pacers aren't a team that turn the ball over a lot. That's not their identity. Pacers today, though. 18 turnovers to 9. Woo. Man, you put Deuce on that point of attack, everything falls apart. Keep it half court, everything falls apart, man. Everything falls apart. Even with Siakam there, everything was falling apart. Cooking. He was the only one who was kind of cooking percentage-wise shooting. So, I mean, yeah. Defensively, Knicks really stepped it up, man. They really did their thing. And now it's the ball game. And shout out to Neesmith for breakdancing today. I was really entertained. I haven't been on in the NYC subways as much because I've been coming from Jersey. So I haven't seen Showtime in a long time. Showtime, but so it's great to see Neesmith breakdancing after Jaylen Brunson snatched his ankles, and I got to see some Showtime today on the guard.
He got each and every one of his defenders. He got a oopsie daisy moment on each of them. Cause Nimhart, he froze him. It looked like Sub-Zero had caught him with it.
Yeah.
He just froze in his tracks.
Yo, my man, Ebony, man, that's what I'm saying, Ebony. I don't understand people. If you watch Jaylen Brunson in basketball, if you win, you just shut up and win quietly. You do not want to piss off Jaylen Brunson and have him stew in a room by himself thinking about a loss. Because he was going to drop 50 if the game wasn't over. If the game wasn't over, do you think he was gonna let that go?
Facts.
You think you're gonna you need to take your win and shut up. Like, I don't understand how people look. The facts are laid out right now. There's a trend happening whenever somebody makes fun or gloats or he goes off. So I don't like these young teams. You know what? Do it again if you want to. Do it again if you want to. Do it. I dare you.
You see, when you play sports, there are tough lessons you have to learn in life when you play sports. Now you see some people, unless you're truthfully him or you're truthfully her, you can talk because you can often back up what the words that come out your mouth. Like Michael Jordan talked, didn't matter whether he was up or down, he talked because why? He was him. So
Yeah.
no matter what, he knew he could back up his talk and things of that nature. The thing is that Pacers, there's nobody on the Pacers who are him. You know what I mean? So they get all cocky and stuff when they're winning big or whatever the case may be. And it's like, yo, you have to learn who you can talk to and who you cannot talk to. And this Knicks team is not a team that you can talk to because the Knicks are gonna remember that and they're gonna come back the next game, they're gonna punch you in your mouth. And that's exactly what the Knicks did. So it's like, yo, take your win humbly, be like, like Rasheed Wallace, both teams played hard. God bless and good night. And take it to the next game. Because when you start talking crap to the wrong team, that's what happens. You get smacked the next game.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Dante.
Didn't have a big scoring night per se. Had an amazing putback dunk though. Was part of that part of the reason why we even got on that run. But what I loved about Dante tonight was he wasn't taking no shit.
Yep.
He was not for the BS today. And it's funny enough, the game was a 1 or 2. There was this whole stink about how the Pacers, the refs gave the game to the Pacers because Miles Turner was called for a screen that wasn't a screen. Low key, Miles Turner has been setting ridiculous Bam Adebayo level moving screens. And you're not catching him in the moment because you know what he's doing. I realize you know what he's doing. He's not setting the big illegal screens for the ball handler necessarily. I think that's why people are, and even me are missing it. You only see it on the replay, and he's like off in the corner. He's like setting this legal screen off of like a guy who's some off-ball action, and somebody gets laid out on the floor. And you're like, why is he on the floor, son? Why is it a 5-on-4? He just leveled dude on the other side of the court. And I think Dante DiVincenzo might have been the recipient of that. And he had enough. And I think that's why that flare-up happened between Miles Turner, because we didn't even see what happened until the replay happened. They had to change the camera angle, and you saw that Miles Turner stuck his leg out for the pick. But I'm glad that Dante got up in his face, even though he got the extra foul and the tech. I just like the fact that he's sending a message like, we're not going to lay down and let you just do this.
We're not gonna take this.
Yeah. And it could have backfired if we didn't have Alec Burks balling today. I'm not gonna lie. It could have backfired, but it worked out because Alec Burks is balling. Don DiVincenzo got his fouls. He had to sit on the bench, but Alec Burks scored 18, so it was all good today.
Again, Dante, timely. Dante took the role of our big man, I guess you want to say today. When you think about his play, he was a great help defender, had a huge help deep block off of, I think it was Miles or Siakam. I can't remember which one it was, but it was a big one of their bigs. And it led to some points, I believe. But just his help defense, he was very inactive today in help defense. Every time somebody was driving to the hoop, he was active in the lanes, reaching, making it difficult, making them aware of his presence. So again, he had a big three, I believe, and then he had that big putback dunk when they was trying to come back again, like to kind of put the take their will almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, Dante not having big games, but being timely, affecting the game in all aspects. I remember when he first got here, I said that he's just Josh Hart with a jump shot, and today he had a very Josh Hart-like game.
Dante DiVincenzo is not your typical white guy in the NBA. Typically, white guards are broken up into two sections. You're either kind of like Tyler Hansborough, where you're not very skilled, but you give a lot of energy and you're Charlie Hustle, or you're like a Kyle Korver, where you're soft, you're just a catch and shoot spot up shooter, and you hang out in the corners. Devo is a combination of both, but also has like a dog mentality. Like he lives for the smoke. He stands up for his teammates, and he's got a little edge to him that I think really shows in clutch moments when you need a bucket. That MFer ain't afraid, man. I remember Novak. You got in Novak's space within a foot, a hand, like right here. He wouldn't hit shit. Like he had to be wide open to hit a shot. Dante DiVincenzo, you can double him, blitz him, try to run him off the perimeter. It don't matter. He's going to hit a shot. He'll be 10 feet behind the line. He'll hit the shot that he needs to hit. I love his mentality and playing alongside with his Villanova brothers. Like I've said before, that vacuum makes all three guys better than it could ever be because they're playing with that level of unmatched continuity and familiarity.
I agree. Shout out to the Lost Nova boy, Josh Hart. I don't know why I called him the Lost Nova boy.
I thought that was Ryan Arcinando.
I quit. I ain't gotta say it. I'm not.
Now that's a typical white guy. Right. He's a typical white guy.
I can knock it back. Yeah.
But yeah. My man's name is Dante, so
Yeah.
I
I
hope
just
he
like
eats free in Little Italy on 24/7. Whenever he wants a meal, Little Italy's got him.
yeah, man. I just like the
Facts.
fact that Dante just standing up to big man. Like
Yeah.
he's the guy who's like, I'm standing up to Embiid and now I'm standing up to Miles Turner. I like that energy, man. Like I don't care. I don't
Facts.
Was that Dave Chappelle who said that you always gotta worry about the white guy who hangs out with a whole bunch of black dudes because he
care.
did
This
something
Dave
to gain
Chappelle.
their respect?
Mhm.
That's Dante DiVincenzo in a nutshell, man. He's a
That's
doll.
Facts. I mean, they call him the Delaware Jordan for a reason.
Let's go.
And facts. And that's the thing with the two. You see how you're able to run us off the line and our players able to affect the game in other areas. That's the difference between us and a lot of teams. That's the difference really between us and the Pacers. Once you take away Halliburton or maybe Siakam or to create, or even TJ, who's getting to the lot in the paint at will, and he was causing havoc and getting other people 3-point shots, getting everybody in rhythm, making it harder for us to really guard because everybody's hot. We see us with them. They're able to shoot us off me, run us off the line, and you still see Dante be able to do other things, get to the layup, get to the line. You've seen Deuce make some acrobatic shots and
right.
floaters and things of that nature. So yeah, we can play a lot of different ways, and people can't do that, not consistently, not like our season has prepared us for these moments. Like it's not new.
I agree. I agree.
Facts. And just to add on to that, what Ebony said, like Knicks is one of the few teams in the NBA where it doesn't matter. They can play slow in the half court and they can play fast. And either way, they can find a way to win. Because even if you look at this series as a whole, I think the first two games in New York, those are pretty much fast-paced games, a lot of possessions. And the Knicks won those games in New York when that's more of the Pacers play, when that's more of the Pacers pace. The Knicks won those games, and even throughout the playoffs against the Sixers, which is a whole different series where those games are slow half-court pace games where teams play lockdown, play defense on the half court and things of that nature. Knicks were able to overcome in that series as well. So there's only a few teams that can play both styles of ball where they can play either slow in the half court or they can run up and down. And Knicks is one of the few elite is Knicks are one of the few elite teams in the NBA that can play either way and still find a way to win a game.
I really want to comment on that. Ryan, I'm so glad you brought that up. This is another example of just how much Tom Thibodeau has adjusted as a head coach. I remember those Chicago days when they would go up against a team like the Miami Heat. Tibbs was relentless in maintaining a certain level of pace. He would not match the up-tempo play of his opponents. He wanted to control the pace of a game, and he would not make adjustments needed. He would keep the half-court guys out to the Joakim Noahs, the Taj Gibsons, guys that couldn't run in hopes of grinding it out. And he would not allow his teams to play an up-tempo style on offense because typically it would allow for his team to be able to be set on defense. He wasn't the type of coach that wanted to adjust on the fly in transition to try to either draw charges or run guys off the perimeter. He wanted the team to be set and everyone get into positions and then know what they do in the read and react. This is different. This Thibodeau is like, listen, I have the guys you can run. We're going to run. And there was a point where we would lead in the postseason in pace and lead the postseason in points in transition. That's unbelievable for a Tom Thibodeau team, especially a Tibbs team so ravaged by injuries, for him to be able to adjust and say, okay, Julius Randle is no longer here. What's my personnel and what's the strengths of my personnel? And let me adjust that to match their strengths and make up for the weaknesses. Yo, I got to tip my hat off to Tibbs, man. My man is coaching a master class this postseason. It really started last postseason that I thought he really coached his best playoff series against Cleveland. And it's even better this time around because he has more injuries and less bodies.
Yeah. Fast break points. This game, Knicks 13, Indiana 14. So pretty much even points of turnovers, 24-18 advantages Knicks. So pretty much was at pace with the fast break points with the Pacers, then beat them in the offensive rebounding game. Not even beat it, we massacred them. and there's your board game right there. And also, interestingly enough, bench points, 27 to 21 advantage Knicks. We went 7 deep. They didn't. And we still won the bench points. Look at that. On to Friday. Oh man. Salute to you guys. Salute to you guys though. You ready for bro picks?
Let's do it.
Yep, yes, sir.
All right. All right. So it's time for the other part of the show. It's the bro picks. Bro picks are usually the dumbest plays of the game. Sometimes not this game. Sometimes it's another game. And sometimes a bruh doesn't even have to be another game. It could just be something stupid, dumb, idiotic that you want to point out and say it's stupid, it's dumb, it's idiotic. So I'm giving it a bruh. And I have a feeling there's a lot of bruhs that happen. I kind of closed off from all the talking points after the Knicks loss, but I'm pretty sure somebody else is gonna mention it. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna end up being a bruh.
Yeah, so I have a few bros. First and foremost, I want to call out, and it's not just some Knicks fans, although those Knicks fans I'm upset at, but it's various people, on social media, different media sources, etc., pointing to the Knicks losing Game 4 as a sign of Thibodeau's running his players into the ground by playing them too many minutes, and that the injuries that the Knicks currently have is because of Thibs running his players into the ground, basically attributing it to, the past narrative that was around him in his passing, especially time with the Bulls, with Derrick Rose's injuries, things of that nature, saying that he ran Derrick Rose into the ground and things of that nature. And I was very glad to see Monica McNutt go on ESPN and pretty much shut up all that noise with
Yes.
facts, proving to people that Thibodeau is not running people into the ground. And just in case people didn't really see Monica McNutt's rant on ESPN about it, I'm just gonna highlight a few things right quick just to prove, the point that Thibs is not running these players into the ground. So, some of these Knicks fans can get to stick out their ass and stop blaming Thibs for something that he's not responsible for. Julius Randle. Before Julius Randle got hurt, he was playing roughly 35 minutes a game. If you look around the league, that's pretty much league average for star players on their team. So Thibs was not quote unquote overplaying Randle, and that's why Randle got hurt. And then on top of that, how did he get hurt? He went up for a layup. Jacquez on Miami undercut him. He fell to the floor, fell badly on his shoulder, separated shoulder. That's not a fatigue injury. Again, people want to say Thibs was overplaying OG Anunoby, and that's why he got hurt. Well, if you know his first injury, the bone spur injury, that is not a fatigue injury. The bone spurs. And then on top of that, in the regular season, OG Anunoby averaged 34.9 minutes per game under Thibs. Again, not running him into the ground. That's pretty much average playing time for a star player or a starter on an NBA roster. Again, didn't run him into the ground. And here's the funny thing. People saying that Mitchell Robinson's injury is attributed to Thibs overplaying him. Mitchell Robinson only played 24.9 minutes a game in the regular season when he got his ankle injury. Again, playing normal minutes, he got hurt. Playoffs again, he was not playing heavy minutes. A stress fracture means that, it's something that developed over time. So it could be a myriad of reasons as to why he got the stress fracture. Maybe Mitchell Robinson came back too early and it wasn't fully healed, and then something re-aggravated it. It could be, just something that just develops over time where, when he constantly playing and putting pressure on it, whatever the case may be, and it gets worse and worse. Again, nothing attributed to him being overplayed by Thibodeau. Bojan Bogdanovic, he got injured off of a extra effort play, going after a loose ball, and Nicholas Batum had just happened to roll over on his foot. And then all of a sudden, he's out for the playoffs. Bojan Bogdanovic, with his time with the Knicks, 19.4 minutes a game. Again, not being overplayed. If you check the rotation when he has a healthy rotation, guys are not overplayed minutes. The reason why guys are playing 40+ minutes now is because, yeah, we're decimated by injuries. Do you want to win games, or do you want to play guys on two-way contracts that in playoff games where you're not sure what you're going to get from them? He has to go with his guys to try to win these games. So again, like I feel like people who just automatically blame Thibs for these injuries that the Knicks have, I feel like they're uneducated opinions, and those people either don't watch the Knicks or they don't know what they're watching when they watch the Knicks. Honestly, that's my first broad pick.
Well said.
My second broad pick goes to Paul Pierce, because after this guy fulfilled his bet, praising Jaylen Brunson and things of that nature, wearing Knicks jersey and blah, blah, blah. After game 4, he doubles down and he's like, you know what, the Knicks are done. Yeah, we see how done the Knicks are. Game 5, they came back and smacked the Pacers. So, yeah, Paul Pierce gets his daily bro, and he gets another bro on top of that. Next, bro, Draymond Green. Again, this guy's on TNT, and he doubles down again on the Knicks, saying that the Knicks are a fluke. Excuse me, Draymond Green. I didn't know a team making the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years is a fluke. To me, that seems like a team that is actually good enough to make the playoffs multiple times again and again and again. And then he's going to bring up examples, especially the Portland Trailblazers example, where they made the playoffs one year. They made a deep run, and all of a sudden they signed guys to new contracts, and they put them in like a financial hole that they couldn't dig themselves out of, and they ended up not going further in the playoffs than that one season. And again, if you pay attention to what Leon Rose has done with this team, he has signed guys on very affordable, reasonable contracts. A lot of guys that the Knicks have are underpaid right now.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing that Leon Rose has done that would probably show you that he's going to overpay a bunch of players and get the Knicks to a point where it's like the Knicks have no more financial cap space, and then they're stuck with a team that's not going to go far in the playoffs. Like Leon Rose has done nothing to prove that. And on top, the Knicks have made the playoffs 3 of the last 4 seasons. I mean, if anything, you could say that Leon Rose has shown that he's building something to where the Knicks can make a consistent run in the playoffs year after year after year. So it's like you have all these guys out here, all these media people out here just doubling down on the Knicks and just want to see the Knicks lose and things of that nature. And it's like, yo, that's why I get so hyped when I see the Knicks win, because it's clearly evident. Everyone outside the tri-state area hate the Knicks. If you don't live in the tri-state area, more than likely they hate the Knicks. Even today, ESPN posted something on social media where, because the Knicks and Rangers, both New York teams are in the playoffs at the same time. And ESPN posted something where they were like, the Knicks and Rangers haven't won the last 5 games, and showed like, L after L after L that the New York teams are taking. It's like, yo, when the Knicks and Rangers are winning, y'all don't hype that shit up. But yet when the Knicks are losing, when the Knicks and Rangers are losing, you want to highlight that? It's clear that nobody wants to see New York win, and that's why every game the Knicks win, I'm hyped, because I'm like, yo, let's shut these haters up, because it's clear y'all don't like us anyway. And you know what? We don't damn care. We don't freaking care.
We don't
care.
We don't care. Matter of fact, just bring it on. Bring it on. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for that train to arrive. Oh, look, it's here. Patient loss.
Yeah. See you Friday.
Oh man. Well said, Ryan G. Well said. I feel like you emptied the clip.
Yeah, I had a lot to get off my chest.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Anybody else?
I got one bro pick because Ryan pretty much said a couple of mine, definitely. So well said. And mine is the WNBA announced again that they was getting charter flights, but what they didn't announce was that it wouldn't be for everybody just yet, I guess. And they didn't announce that the other teams wouldn't be able to get their own either. So the Liberty were on the bus
The
for their
bus?
game. Yes.
Not even the
Yeah. They were on the bus. So yeah.
damn.
Wow.
Come on, James Dolan. Pony up, bro.
This is the thing. Like, this is the crazy part is I feel like teams are gonna lose good players.
Yeah, teams have already lost good players because of that. Um, but the reason is because of facilities. But the Liberty happened to have one of the teams that invested in their women. That's one thing that that ownership has gotten right over there in the Barclays with the Liberty. They
Mhm.
take care of the team so much so that they actually got fined. The management got fined because they had a trip for the players, and they were trying to say that stuff like that is an unfair advantage. So which is why they also didn't allow them to get charter planes because they were the ones also who and Joe and them actually offered to help get the partnerships and things they need to get these flights, and
Mhm.
other owners fought against it for whatever reason they didn't
That's
want it.
crazy. That's crazy.
So it's for this the person that wanted the planes in the first place and their team not get one of them, or and this team be who one of the teams that was in your in the finals, not just any team,
And
team.
trade me tomorrow.
So it's not even the ownership's problem. That's the higher ups. That got nothing to do really with the team. That's the picking and
That's
choosing of
crazy.
the higher ups.
That's nuts.
And you already know who was on the plane, though. You already know who got to play in their first game, but it is what it is. We
Mm,
ain't
Yeah.
got- you ain't even got to even say nothing. You already know
mm,
who it is.
mm.
Yeah. Look, we already know fever. We already know.
So eh, don't. I just feel like the game is growing. It's been growing even before this year. I
Yeah,
don't
they
want
just got
the
agreed at this point.
yeah. I don't want the WNBA to drop the ball. You got a good opportunity. Don't mess this up. You can't turn off the people that have been there and the people that have helped the league get to this point to still be around to see these other new players. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm
You can't just turn your back on those people. This is Brianna Stewart, person who's won every year in college, person that came to the league and won, the W pros and won, the MVP, accolades out the wazoo. She's on the bus, her first game. Like that don't look right.
I hear you. All
Yeah,
right.
that's
Well,
it. That's all I have.
Lee, any?
I have a one bra pick that will then morph into an oo pick. If you are out there, KOT family, everyone who's not watched the video, if you're curious on who knows ball or who doesn't know ball, if you're new to Knits Twitter like I used to be, and you're wondering like who should I stay away from, anyone who is criticizing Tom Thibodeau right now is probably an account you should mute or block. And let me tell you, unfortunately, there are a lot of them out there in the Twitterverse. There are some really, just on my page, I like to call them out. I'm not going to do it here on the channel, but I'll tell you who's stupid and who's not. Send me a DM. I'll give you the list. There's some really, really idiotic accounts out there that just like to dump on Tom Thibodeau because of the way he looks or the way he acts or what he doesn't say. Or the perception around that Ryan touched on about running players into the ground. But I wanted a moment to give the men his flowers because I used to be very harsh on Tom Thibodeau, and I have changed my mind completely. I am now one of his biggest defenders. And when I think about the last 20 years of modern basketball, there's been special relationships between coaches and players. You think about Phil and Kobe for that, Jordan, Kerr with Curry, Pop with Duncan, or Spo with Wade. Those are relationships where maybe they didn't act the same, they didn't have the same personality, but if there was some type of synergy between the coach and the player to where the player acted as an avatar for the coach's mentality and philosophy on the court, he was an extension of the coach on the court. We have that right now. It's very special and it's very rare, but we have that between Tom Thibodeau and Jaylen Brunson. I think even more than Derrick Rose. Jaylen Brunson represents the philosophy of Tom Thibodeau and everything that Tom Thibodeau wants in a player. I've never seen Tibbs be more expressive of someone that plays for him than he is Jaylen Brunson. He respects the thing that Jaylen Brunson encompasses, and I've gone into the history between him, Leon, and Jalen's father, Rick Brunson, about why that thing is a perfect stew for what's happening right now. But I want to say that when you look at like the Dallas OKC game, and it took the second half of Game 4 for Coach Dagnall, Coach of the Year, to finally adjust to that PJ Washington corner three, a player who was shooting around 25% from the corner in the regular season to like 55% in the playoffs. Mavs were winning games because PJ Washington at some points was their best player. He was their best player last game. And took the second half of Game 4 for them to adjust to that. That's something you never see with Tom Thibodeau. If there's something like that, you're getting killed by a role guy doing something consistently with the same play and the same outcome. Tibbs will adjust. There was a beautiful essay today that released in ESPN. Surprise, about Tom Thibodeau. And one of the things was in game 2, that Tibbs doesn't consort with his assistant coaches during timeouts. He already knows. He's watched all the tape. He already has counters for counters. As soon as the timeout buzzer rings, he goes straight to the bench, sits on his chair, pulls out his tablet. And the writer said before Carlisle even left his coach's circle and went to talk to the players, Tibbs had written out 8 plays and already made adjustments and countered the pick and roll defense. That's Thibodeau. That's how prepared he is. And he has a perfect group of guys. Sure, not a whole lot of all-stars on that bench. Sure, it's a one-man team offensively with Jaylen Brunson, but it's a perfect group of guys to embody Thibodeau's philosophy and his mentality on the court. And Jaylen Brunson's an extension of that. And that's why, my friends, we might be a couple men down, but we got all the heart we need to make the finals run.
Well said, Lee. Well said, Lee. Take that to the bank. We had some spitters today. Spitters today. All right, I like it.
Now
I like
talking
it.
just fine. I'm back, baby. Let's go. Get to the curse.
I will not comment on that like last time.
My man.
All right, man. All right. Yo, good show. I like the bros. I like my ooh pick is Jaylen Brunson crossing the hell out of Name Hard making him break dance. All right.
Love it.
Cool.
My ooh pick is I got one too. Is the Indiana assistant coach being the first one, the women's assistant coach being the first one out there every time during the scuffles. She was the first one out there every time. Shouts out to her. Like, not my players.
Love that.
Not my babies.
Basically.
Oh man. Cern deserves it, but whatever. It's cool. All right.
I had to give a shout out to show the heart. She was
all right. I mean, that's the show. So Lee, let them know they can find you, Lee.
At Twitter _Lee Escobedo, LeeEscobedo. Shout out my fellow Latinos. I got invited to the morning brew tomorrow to help co-host. It had some people who are out of commission. So Hector asked if I would step in and just be a friendly face. And now that my mouth is working, I'm ready to chop it up and talk it up. So yeah, I'll be no Josh Giddey. I'll be representing my KFC fam on the fam. And find me on Twitter. Search #bum. I've been going in on these Matt fans, yo. I'm not fighting with these net fans anymore. I'm fighting with only Matt fans. And the time is ripe to be fighting with them because this series tied up 2-2. Thunder up, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. All right.
kind of want both of those teams to lose.
I hate one more than the other, though.
Is there a way that both of them can not advance to the next round? Let them know they can find you.
You can find me here every post game. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at MadNickFan. You can find me at pregame at Twitter on Your Take Knicks and Liberty, who had their first game today. You can find me at the post games, which we're having tomorrow, actually, because this post game. So because the Knicks playoff game, basically, but you can find me after every post game for the Liberty games too, at Boiling with the Queens.
All right. Salute. All right, Ryan G. Let me know can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT. You can also find me on Instagram at Sir G is chilling.
Sir G is chilling.
That's SirGChillin. It's kind of funny because I just popped on Twitter right quick, and this guy, Skip Bayless, just posted a tweet which is pretty entertaining, and he's implying something that I think would it would make Knicks fans happy, but at the same time, like, what the hell? Because he posted something on Twitter that says, wouldn't it be something if the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Mavericks, then the Nuggets, then the Knicks? Pretty much implied that the Knicks are going to be in the NBA Finals, and the OKC Thunder is going to beat the Knicks. Which, like I said, it's good for Knicks fans hearing that. Oh, we're going to be in the Finals, but at the same time, I was like, what the hell? Like, we're going to lose
Nah,
the
we
finals.
beating
Like,
OKC.
come on, son.
Oh man.
I think I don't know. Like I said, I wish both of those teams would lose, but it would be nice. I don't know what the series is with the Denver Nuggets and the Wolves, but imagine that matchup of Ant versus Shea.
Yeah.
Denver's up right now by 14. Fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful about counting these guys out.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
I'm not counting them
Yeah.
out, but I was just saying that would be a good kind of playoff matchup, definitely.
For real.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
Chet versus Gobert,
Oh, I love Chet. Chet's for real, man.
Abraham Lincoln reincarnated.
My boy's got some incredible talent.
Facts.
That's funny. Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln reincarnated as a basketball player.
Right.
Oh man. Oh man. All right, y'all. You can find us the KOT Show on Twitter, the Nick of Time Show on Instagram, and the Nick of Time Show on Facebook as well. All right, cool. Well, that's the show. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, we'll see you on Friday where the Knicks will play the Pacers. That's the show. We out of here.
Peace.
New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.